Hello everyone. As many of you are interested in my build, I'd like to do a quick showcase. This is my Frostblade Warden build, which I've played for 2 leagues. I theory crafted it myself last year when Lightning Strike was the meta. It's fairly easy to follow since there aren't many complicated interactions. The build has its limitations, but it deals good damage and is playable on a low budget. Even this build is not that tanky. I love the feeling of freezing the entire screen with one click. Bosses are slowed significantly with a permanent 30% less action speed. It helps a lot when you need to kill Uber boss or T17 boss. Let's talk about the Ascendancy nodes. I picked experienced herbalists to run double tinctures. Tinctures are the main source of DPS. Without them, I only deal 1/4 of my damage. Clicking them every 10 seconds can be a bit annoying. But nothing in the game can reduce or remove the effect of tinctures. I love their reliability. With Enduring Suffusion, tincture effects linger for 6 seconds if they're deactivated at 12 mana burn stacks. Combined with the tincture mastery that auto-deactivates at 12 mana burn, tincture effects are always up. Oath of Winter provides a huge defensive layer, ensuring I can freeze mobs long enough for them to die. I can also freeze tanky mobs by stacking Hoarfrost with high enough attack speed. Lastly, Oath of Summer converts Ignite into 2 Scorches, reducing elemental resistance by 60% in total, which is a lot of damage. Next, let's go over the passive tree. First, pick up the Cold Mastery to achieve full cold conversion. Then, grab almost all the tincture nodes. You'll want the auto-deactivate mastery to semi-automate tinctures. Another useful mastery is the one where the first 6 mana burn stacks have no effect. If you can sustain your mana, you can skip this, but I take it to avoid mana issues. Next, go for the Claw Wheel and Cluster Jewels. Fuel the fight and feed the fury from Cluster Jewels provide life and mana leech. Combined with the 10% instant leech from Claw Mastery is very strong for sustaining both life and mana. Lastly, pick up the block nodes at the bottom of the tree. Use a full block shield like this one. Then get 4 replica Reckless Defense Jewels. Achieve max block with Tempest Shield. The remaining passive points can go into life and damage. You can follow my POE and pick them up in any order. Now, about the gear. The low-budget version should cost around 5 divines only. You can buy a claw like this for under 2 divines. Don't spend too much on it. You'll likely need to craft your own best in-slot claw eventually, as no one crafts this kind of claw for profit. I'll explain how to craft my claws at the end of the video. Buy 4 replica Reckless Defense Jewels. You don't need perfect roll on them for max block. Just buy the roll with 6% spell block, 4% or 5% roll on attack block. Should be below 30 C each. 2 tinctures provide a lot of crit, attack speed, elemental damage, and elemental penetration. Mid-roll tinctures are very cheap and good enough to carry you to T16 or even T17. Heat Shiver and Yoke of Suffering are quite affordable mid-league. For gloves, get ones with life, resists, and roll for the strike skills. Target 1 additional nearby enemy Exarch mod. Use rare boots, belt, and body armor with life, speed, and resists. Lastly, you need a ring with high strength and intelligence. If you're not running high-level Frost Blink, you only need 100 intelligence to run Tempest Shield. If you can afford a higher budget, upgrade your gear in this order. First, get a Nemes and some projectile speed tattoos. Nemes lets your projectiles hit the same target again. Even projectiles do not shotgun, it is still about 50% more damage for around 45 divines. On top of that, you stack 2 Hoarfrost stacks in one attack with Nemes. You'll need projectile speed tattoos, otherwise the projectile won't hit a second time. Next, Massive Thread of Hope with a good lethal pride offers many chance to deal double damage, costing about 30 divines. Use POB's Find Timeless Jewel feature to find the best lethal pride. Then, replace mid-roll tinctures with top rolls. Top roll tinctures make a big difference, costing about 4 to 5 divines each. A heat shiver with a 90% reservation multiplier implicit can support an extra Herald of Purity for just a few divines. Replace your shield to Svalin. Svalin costs about 100 divines but significantly boosts survivability. 88% block is much better than 75%. It also frees up 6 passive points at the bottom of the tree. But you'll need a body armor with 2 block affixes. You'll also need 15% spell block on Svalin and a level 21 Tempest shield. Replace your replica Reckless Defense jewels to have perfect roll. Each one is 4D right now, 16D in total. Now you should have achieved max 88% block. Lastly, here's a guide on how to craft the best in-slot claws for this build. If you succeed in all steps on the first try, you'll still need at least 50 divines. Be prepared with spare divines in case you get unlucky. First, you need to craft the fractured base using a recombinator. Buy an Imperial Claw with 30% quality as the base for 1D. Use a T2 or T3 Anguish, Torment, or Suffering Essence on the Imperial Claw. This adds a caster mod that's normally only available on caster weapons. Annul until the caster mod is the only prefix left. Next, buy a claw with the T1% increased physical damage mod. Aim for 179% if possible. The claw base or item level doesn't matter. Annul until the T1 physical mod is the only prefix. Then, recombine these 2 claws. Use the method that has 100% success. Since another prefix is the caster mod that cannot be rolled on claw normally. This makes sure only the T1 physical mod can be picked when we recombine these 2 prefixes. So you have a 50% chance to transfer the T1 physical mod to the Imperial Claw. If it fails, the T1 physical mod will remain on the other claw, so try again with another Imperial Claw. I'll explain the rest of the process using Craft of Exile. When you succeed, you'll have a claw like this. Imprint it using a Krasic Chimeral Beast. Add mods with a Regal Orb, Exalted Orb and Benchcraft. Now the claw should have exactly 4 mods. Use a Fracturing Orb. You have a 25% chance to fracture the T1 physical mod. If it fails, use the Imprint Orb to revert and try again. Once you have the fractured base, spam T1 Hatred Essence until you get the T1 flat physical damage mod. It should take around 500 to 1000 rolls to hit it. If the suffixes are full with T1 flat physical, annul once. If a prefix is gone, restart the essence crafting. If you have an open suffix, you can spend some divines to improve the rolls before doing the next step. Now the prefixes are done. You have 2 options to proceed. The safe but expensive method. Craft, prefixes cannot be changed, scour all suffixes, then reapply, prefixes cannot be changed. Use harvest crafting to remove/add a speed mod. This guarantees a 1 in 8 chance to get T1 attack speed without other suffix. If you don't get T1 speed, reapply, prefixes cannot be changed, scour, and try again. Cheaper but riskier method. Craft, prefixes cannot be changed, then use harvest reforge speed. It's much cheaper per craft, but there's a chance to fill all suffixes. You'll need to gamble and annul to free up a suffix slot. If you annul a prefix, you'll need to restart from the essence crafting. If you get T1 speed with other suffixes. Craft, prefixes cannot be changed, and try to annul the unwanted suffixes. Your goal is to have T1 speed as the only suffix. At this point, you should have a claw with the desired mods like this. Craft, prefixes cannot be changed, and use a Veiled Exalted Orb. You have a 50% chance to keep the T1 speed. If you lose T1 speed, you'll need to restart from the harvest speed crafting step. If you succeed, benchcraft damage per frenzy charge to block the mod pool. Then, unveil the Claw 4 critical strike multiplier while a rare or unique enemy is nearby. It's very unlikely to fail this step. Finally, benchcraft 27% critical strike chance, and you're done. Lastly, thank you all for the support and kind words. I wasn't expecting so many views and new subscribers. I've done some theory crafting on farming strategies after the harvest video. But they weren't good enough. Not sure if I'll make another video this league. Many of the better strategies have already been covered by other YouTubers and streamers. I'm pretty much at the endgame stage this league as well, and I don't see any big changes coming. Maybe see you next league. Please tell me if you have any questions or suggestions. Thanks for watching.